as always, it's a Tuesday night. It's time for a bit of Super League Raw Weekly. You can't beat a bit of weekly. Massive weekend of Rugby League just been and gone. And as you can see, we've got Joel back. We did promise that we'd bring him back. He's here again, our friend from the other side of the Pennines. And of course, Sir Reginald, as always. Good evening,
Unfortunately, I'm here as well, so you can't have everything, people.
And it would be amiss of us boys to not send our congratulations to our friends over in St. Helens on winning the hubcap.
Yeah, well done. Certainly deserved. It's been the best team all season, I think.
Yeah,
Wigan have run them close, and I'm still, if Wigan get there against Saints, I'm still edging my bets towards Wigan winning the whole thing. Just get that feeling that Wigan might just pick them. But yeah, well done, Saints. Deserved it.
Yeah. Any flags for St. Helens unveiled at Huddersfield this weekend, Joel? Congratulating them.
Yeah, no, they have deserved every bit of it. You know, it's very, very difficult for any team to consistently play like they have all season. You always say, don't you, when the team's up there at the top and they're playing well, consistently beating teams by quite a margin sometimes, they're gonna dip, they're gonna get tired. But Saints have got a strength in the depth, haven't they? So that's why they've carried on playing well.
Well, they've gone to the last game of the last home game of the season to actually be beaten at home. You know, that's you expect to lose a few at home, but that's pretty good going.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. And with a weakened team, which is why I'm so glad Warrington was safe, because if we hadn't been, we could have been in trouble these last few weeks with teams resting players. Teams that have secured the place and the top 6 resting players. Could have been a squeaky bum time.
It could have easily been squeaky bum time indeed. Greg Roach, my number one fan. Highlight is yours, Joel. He said, good evening to you, gentlemen, and me. I will take the fact that I get a special mention as a positive. As always, Uncle Freddie is with us. Dawn Baker is with us. Go Wiggins, she said, so she'll be delighted with Greg's early comments. Tony Gooding, Simon Clark. Oh, they're all coming in. Great to see you. Get involved in the chat. Andy and Sue, our resident Castleford fans, squeaky bum time in Castleford. They're saying, thank God that they're in Tenerife. Well, we're international tonight, gentlemen.
Nobody likes the show up.
Fantastic. Mark Atack is with us as always. Superb. Great to have you all here. So as I was saying to the boys before we came on air, with 2 rounds of Super League to prepare for, putting the videos together and all the rest of it, I've been incredibly busy, as you can expect. So it's over to you, gentlemen. What's going on today? Normally Tuesdays is a good day for breaking news. Where are we going? Yeah,
well, as we were saying just before we came on air, the little spat that's developing between the Giants and Warrington over Jake Wardle. Obviously, Joel, you probably know more about this, being a Huddersfield fan, than we do, but Ian Watson has said that Wardle's going back to you guys because you wanted to keep Toby King. And our guy, Mr. Powell, says that he's talking to Waddle.
There seems to be a lot of things going on at the moment with people not liking Watson for one reason or another. There's always someone that seems to want to have a dig for some reason, don't they? But it's pretty clear that they said at the time when they had the discussions and the negotiation that, you know, Toby to stay, then you can have Waddle. But if he sends Toby anywhere else, you know, we want Jake back. Because
it seems a bit like last week. It didn't sit comfortably with me. It was a bit underhand and out of the blue that suddenly Toby King has signed for Wigan next year. Yeah. So I don't know how you guys think about that. But
it makes sense that if he wants Toby, that he wants to keep him. He's not going to put all his time and interest and his coaches on Toby to help him get better, just to play better for Wigan. That doesn't make no sense.
No.
Yeah.
It's an odd one. It's an odd one. And
I think a lot of thing with Ian Watson is he says a lot of things that people don't like because he's speaking the truth.
Yeah.
You know, he's proved himself to be a damn fine coach after the last few years. You know, last year was kind of what we've gone through this year, although not as bad, where he was trying to get everything sorted, and it's paid off this year. We've got a lot of time for Ian Watson on this show. I wish he was at Warrington, if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, he's a class act, isn't he?
Yeah.
Before the game on yesterday, I was talking to Andy Kelly because he'd just been talking to Harry Rushton now when he was signing from NRL.
Yeah.
That 12th prop forward. And Andy was saying that Watson just wants to have young English players. And why wouldn't you? You know, Jake Waddle, brilliant player. Toby, brilliant player.
Yeah. And to be honest, Dave, we usually things usually break on a Tuesday. It seems to be a busy day. Other than the usual RFL disciplinary panel, I've not seen any kind of. There's been lots of rumours about Jake Connor going to the NRL. Has that been confirmed about that yet?
I've not seen anything. That's been rumbling on, hasn't it?
I saw a bit of
Evan French going to Broncos, I heard.
Last I heard was Newcastle Knights. Newcastle Knights, Bevan French. Yeah. And if you actually caught his interview, I think after the St. Helens game, it looked as if he was going home. It had that feeling in that interview that he was going home.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to cut across you there, Joel, but that's going to be a big miss for Wigan next year. I think Bevan French.
Huge. I think French's blitz has come a bit late for Man of Steel. I think he'll be runner up to. He'll play in the top 3, but I do think Jay Field will probably walk away with that at the end of the season.
Deservedly so.
Albeit Brodie Croft.
Oh, mate, Brodie Croft.
Dear.
He's a player. I just stood up and applauded. So, I've cut across you again, Joel, but I'm making up for 2 weeks off. But Brodie Croft, I stood up and applauded him on yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, class.
What a performance. Just a great player. Player.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Joel?
Yeah, he was brilliant. He's going to have everyone after him next year. Whether he's in contract or not, you're going to have teams after him.
Maybe, I would say this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There was some rumblings as well of Williams from the Canberra Raiders coming over. I heard that a couple of places. I'm not sure whether that's going to materialise, but
don't know. But I think with Croft, I think for me, maybe another Hastings where he'll give him another year out of respect that they've given him the opportunity, and then maybe the next year he'll be on. But if he carries on playing as he's playing, he won't be getting moved in Super League. He'll be back to the NRL because the NRL have got to be looking at him going, dearie me, he has been outstanding.
You've got to look at Salford, and you've got to think, where did he keep getting these players from? Jackson Hastings, Brodie Croft. They seem to be able to pick up these little gems of players.
Yeah.
And from out of nowhere, you've got to applaud the recruitment team at Salford. You really have.
Especially halfbacks. I mean, it's like I say with Hastings, then with Croft. I mean, they've got him right, haven't they? And I think that he's galvanised Sneed as well. It's just Sneed's in. Sneed's upped his game, hasn't he? Galvanised him, yeah.
He'll be doing rugby union in the winter.
Good word that. It's a good word that on a Tuesday night, isn't it? Galvanised.
But I know what you mean. Yeah, he's made Sneed look at. Well, Sneed can now do what Sneed does. Sneed is an organiser.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to worry about, the flashy bits. Brodie Croft can do that.
It's really
I expect that as a supporter whose team are in the playoffs, Joel, you wouldn't want to come. You won't. I presume you wouldn't want to come across Salford in present form, would you?
Just before we came on, I was thinking to myself, out of all the teams in the playoffs right now, the one I'm most worried about is Salford, and we could end up playing them.
Yeah, they're an unknown quantity, aren't they?
Yeah, I genuinely would rather play St. Salt Wigan over Salford at the current time, and it's a big shout, is that?
Well, I mean, Rowley's got the freedom really, because nobody would have expected this from Salford to just basically say to them, "Let's just go and enjoy your rugby, lads." So off you go. As far as Salford Red Devils fans concerned, the heroes now. So it really doesn't matter. So as you were saying, that makes them very, very threatening indeed. The fact that they can just go out and play rugby, and of course, may I say, the King running Yawa is back. Of course, the legend that is the King was back. I noticed this weekend.
And had a good game.
Yeah, it was tidy, wasn't it? It was tidy, absolutely. So is that all that's happening?
There's clearly something special at Salford, though. It can't be just because of what Watson did. Obviously, that helped, but Paul Rowley, he's got something in that team there. Clearly, they're not the richest club by far at all, but they've got something special.
It's called a team.
Yeah,
and culture.
Play for one another. Culture.
Yeah, a culture. Yeah, and
a thing that a certain club that's not done too well this season could learn from.
Absolutely.
That they've got. I think maybe perhaps having Toulouse and the thought that Toulouse would finish bottom has given a lot of clubs the license to be a bit more relaxed and not be frightened about relegation this year. And Salford are one of those. Wakefield have been dabbling with relegation, but Mr. Murphy strikes again. What are you laughing at, Dave?
Greg in the chat. I'm not even gonna go there. You can look yourself. It's an absolute shocker. It doesn't even deserve a mention. Even Joel's disappointed. He's disappointed in that. It's a shocker, isn't it? It's not good.
What have I done?
It's a poor joke. Go on, carry on, Greg.
He's
What have I done?
Not you, Greg Roach. Not you.
All right, what's he done? Tell me, I can't see.
He's on about. He's chipping in on the galvanised comment, and he said it reminds him of a documentary he watched on a successful shipbuilding. It was riveting, which is just, if you're gonna be like that on a Tuesday night, it's shocking. And anyway, we move on. He's had his giggle. Joel's a fan. Carry on.
I've just lost.
You've lost it. But I tell you what about Rowley though. I tell you, and I mean this in all sincerity. He's done his stock no harm at all, because when he was at Lee, then he went and did his spell in Toronto, and when he got announced as Salford, I was like, it didn't inspire me at all. But then, wow, so I think in terms of his reputation as a coach in the game, what he's done this season is incredible. And then you look at players like Callum Watkins, who we were writing off at the start of the season, thinking, he's over the hill, Callum Watkins. Put him into second row. It's been a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
Hasn't it?
It's revitalised his career. He was outstanding against Castleford on Monday. He really was. I think at the beginning of the season, I predicted Salford to finish 9th, 8th. I think.
Yeah. Well, we both
had
a
lot better than last year, but we've exceeded all expectations this year. So, but I'm fair play to them. I think Huddersfield and Salford are probably, and this is not because you're on here tonight, Joel, but I think Salford and Huddersfield could be quite dangerous to the top two.
And I'm gutted. I don't know about you,
Catalan. If either of those get to play Catalan, it could be quite dangerous for Catalan.
I don't know about you guys, Joe. What's your view on this? I'm gutted for Castleford, because they've got no halfbacks going into the weekend, which is such a shame, because even though it's been tipped as, and I'm not writing them off, by the way, but it's been tipped as it's winner takes all. I was underwhelmed by Leeds at Catalan, considering what Leeds had to play for. I just hope that Cass put on a good showing, because that is round 27, sorry, isn't it? Round 27 is Leeds Castleford, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah.
From both sides. What was most disappointing was, and you probably think the same, is that Leeds have usually had a very good grouping when it comes to defence, scrambling defence, especially on the try line. They had none of that. None. Yeah. Cass, like I said, halfbacks. I think that's where they're struggling, because they don't have any really good second choice halfbacks that are going to put a job on. And I think Lee Rafferty is probably feeling it, and I kind of predicted that might have happened before.
Yeah. I mean, is it Danny Richardson's?
Shame that.
Yeah.
It is shame
he played well against us on Thursday night.
But he's been in good form the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the last 5 rounds, he's been in great form, and we've got a soft spot for Liam Fowler. I mean, I've not heard anything on Fowler's injury. I'm hoping that's not a season finisher.
I hope not, for Wigan's sake, because he's
quality.
He's key. He's key, Liam Fowler.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean the guy scores. He gets even for a kind of a medium.
I hope Daleks have come in on Greg's end.
That does like a bit of Wigan. He goes under the red. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
right. Okay. Well, whilst you're recovering, we'll give you time to recover. Let's get into
it's the Whiffy in Warrington, mate.
Absolutely. So round 25, got lots of action to get through this evening. So I'll do our usual talking over and have a chat. These, of course, were the rounds. A good start for 10. Great place to start as well. Bit of contentious. We'll get into the ribs of this one. Rhinos against the Giants. And, of course, Toulouse took on the Dragons. Trinity took on the Robins. The Red Devils welcomed Hull FC. Wyatt took on the Tigers. And, of course, maybe a lot of people tipping as the prequel to the grand final, the Warriors taking on Saints. If you're a Wigan fan, lots to be excited about. But before we get into all of that, should we take a quick view of who the top performers of round 25 were? Here they come for your viewing pleasure. So there they are, the top performers of round number 25. And good to see some, the likes of Greg Eden, Ryan Briley, who's had a phenomenal season for Salford, having a little day in the sun there without question. So let's get straight to it, shall we? Here we go. Kicking off, I think they're in order. It's been a long time coming. Oh, yeah, there they go. So the Giants took on the Rhinos. I can imagine, in fact, we may as well just get straight into the action, gents, just waiting for it to kick in. But yeah, in terms of we all know what happened in this game. What was your thoughts on it? So let's just get straight to it.
I don't. In a week where there's been a lot of talk about play acting and feigning injuries, I think it's the last thing we needed.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest. I can see how it fooled the referee. I really can. When you see it actually in full speed, it does look as though Hill has lifted him and driven his head into the turf.
Yeah.
I think the most disappointing thing for me, rather than what went on the pitch, was John Wilkins' celebration of the fact that he cheated to get a player sin bin. And
fair play to Phil Clark as well for calling him out, mate.
Yeah, and I think that, and I was surprised to see John Wilkins in the studio yesterday. I thought they might have let him take a few weeks off. That was the real disappointing aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah.
We've seen players do things.
Oh, more gremlins.
Gaskell last year we called out. Yeah, gremlins again. But yeah, I think the reaction from John Wilkins was the most disappointing thing for me.
No, completely agree. I can't really argue with anything you've said there. It was, for me, when you've got a commentator who is pro cheating, that's a problem. It's a big problem. And what disappointed me, I know Joel's probably itching now, but what really disappointed me on the evening was the club politics that took place on Facebook, where Leeds fans were trying to wash over it, and well, maybe Watson should put his own house in order. Do you know what? Whatever. Let's just talk about that one incident. That one incident is all that's currently bad in our game. It's on the increase. Yeah. Watson was spot on in his post-match interview. Spot on.
I mean,
and we want to play
how is that not a red?
Well,
I don't know how that's not a red. And Leeds was saying, he's just mistimed. Sorry, no, it doesn't matter if it's mistimed or not. It's a shoulder charge.
And he comes on and gets an all-important try. But what was your view, Joel? Huddersfield fan?
Yeah, I try my best at not being very biased. I think there was. We've got to say John Wilkins first. That it's just wrong on all levels. That there's no way that should ever be promoted. No. Cheating is not something that should be part of the game. And rugby league, historically is known as a very honest game. So for us as purist rugby fans, we don't want to see stuff like that, first and foremost. Is it happening? Yes, a lot. Does it happen at Huddersfield? Yes, it has happened. You know, I'll certainly admit that. I've seen some of our players do that. But and you've made mention to it, those on Facebook and other places that have put comments on, maybe some Leeds fans, have said, get your own affairs in order. Well, Watson does. If our players do that, it gives them a right telling. So, you know, let's get that straight first of all. Other teams may and coaches, I don't know what their thoughts on it is, but certainly John Wilkin as a player, he's thinking as a man who was very, very pro St Helens, been with Saints forever. Richie Myler is very much of a Leeds fan. I can, from a selfish standpoint, trying to win the game, I can see how you can get caught up in the moment, but stuff like that should not be happening. Did Chris Hill let go of him early enough? Maybe not. But certainly Chris Hill's not a type of person that has an intention to hurt someone or do something dirty like that. And that's me.
Chris Hill has been a clumsy player in the past, especially for Warrington. You know, it was a penalty machine sometimes for Warrington, and
he's had goals,
And the decision that annoyed me more than anything, and this is not a go at Leeds or anything. Was it Greenwood who, standing up, the player tips and he gets a yellow card for it? Was it Greenwood? All he's doing is standing up. The tackle player's legs are over his back, and he gets a yellow card for it. And I'm thinking,
it was at the end, that wasn't it? It was at the end that where Levi pushed him over.
That to me was an absolutely ridiculous decision.
It was. But I tell you what was disappointing.
I thought the ref had quite a good game up to that point.
I thought he got a few calls.
He got a few calls wrong, but he'd had a decent game. He hadn't had a terrible game.
The thing that's disappointing here, though, is we've been, you know, very fair with Richie Myler. Very fair. You know, he's been having a really good season. And then he goes and does that. I mean, oh man, he had a really good game in this game, with the exception of what he did at the end. But here it is. I mean, for me, this is a disgrace. And you know, Joe, you said, you know, maybe you should have let him go earlier. For me, that doesn't even come into the equation, because there was no need to let him go earlier, because he shouldn't have been cheating. You know, at the end of the day, if Myler plays that with a straight bat, there's no issue. That's all Richie Myler. And I'd have loved Sky. And I tell you what, I'd love Sky to have kept the cameras on Chris Hill when he walked to shake the hands of the other players, because I'm sure he made a beeline for Myler. Sure he would have done. Because it was a disgrace.
I'm wondering where the video ref is in this, because the video ref seems to be getting more and more involved in decisions as we go through the season.
But not when they're controversial like that.
Well, I'll tell you what really grinds me, though, and I saw this in that game, is some of the players start celebrating stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Like I said, it shouldn't be happening in the first place. And this is me, like I'm saying, I'm trying to be as non-biased as I can. I'm trying to be really neutral. I thought it was a disgrace. I've taught, as you know, I've been on the show, I've taught highly of Richie Myler. After that, I just lost all respect, to be honest with you, because you should not have been that.
And we've had instances where we've seen rugby league players waving an imaginary card at the referee. Now,
equally bad.
To me, if a referee, if I'm a referee and a player waves a card at me asking for a player to sent off, I'll say, right, off you go then. You're off.
Yeah, that's the way to stamp it out. It's the way to stamp it out.
Yeah. Soon, and they should do this in football as well. Soon as a player waves an imaginary card,
off you go.
Card.
No, I agree, mate. I agree. Shame, absolute shame. Shame that we're talking about that.
It spoiled what was. I know it wasn't the right result for you.
I enjoyed the game.
It spoiled what was.
Good game.
And again, rugby league's being talked about for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Should stamp it out? Should they start finding the players?
Well, how's he not got a ban? I mean, and you know, somebody in the chat, I think it might have been Greg who said it in the chat, has said it. Yeah, how has the disciplinary committee not put, and they missed a massive trick here. If they'd have turned around and give Richie, and I'm sorry, Leeds fans won't like this, but if they'd have given Richie Myler a 4-game ban, it's over. This doesn't happen anymore. because players will be feared to death. You know, we're going into playoff rugby league now, and if they turn around to man and said, right, early bath, son, you're not playing again this season, that's a 4-game ban. Now, people might say, God, that's a bit harsh. Well, no, if you want to stamp someone out the game, that's what you do. You hit them where it hurts. Richie Marley, you're out the playoffs. You're gone. Because that's no place. Go and sort yourself out over the winter months. Yeah.
You're gone
as well. Back a better player.
We all gone. We all being Daleks now. But no, I agree. I agree 100%. And he was up before the board for other contrary behaviour, and nothing happened. Right, again, rugby league shoots itself in the foot.
A bit of a last one on that though is when I saw it, I thought to myself, because I was watching it with my dad, and I said, if the refs start taking it under their own hands a little bit, start giving some red cards out, it's forced disciplinary then. And then it's everyone getting involved, making sure. And we said it's meant to be an honest game. Yeah, it's gone out a window past 2 or 3 years.
Shocking, mate.
It has crept into the game, hasn't it?
And it is, yeah, and it continues to creep itself in, doesn't it? And I think, like I say, from your perspective, Joel, yeah, people might say, typical, it's sour grapes from a Huddersfield fan, but no, we're completely impartial in this game, and quite frankly, no, it's got nothing to do with that. We're impartial. We've been massive advocates of Leeds. I mean, the golden generation at Leeds. What was there not to like? Especially from this side of the Pennines, it was just quality rugby league. It's like Saints now, quality rugby league. But that's just got no place in the game at all. And Leeds fans need to get a grip, because
30 years ago, behaviour like that, the captain of the player who did it would absolutely give him the rounds of the kitchen and say, "What are you playing at?"
Well, equally, I've just mentioned the golden generation. Would you have seen Kevin Sinfield, Danny Maguire, or Rob Burrow acting like that?
No,
not a chance.
They didn't need to. They let the rugby do the talking. That's what they did. They didn't need to do that.
Yeah, rugby league players are renowned for going through the pain barrier.
Yeah.
Football's a game where players pretend to be injured for 90 minutes. Rugby's a game where injured players pretend to be fit for 80 minutes.
Correct.
That's the whole difference between the two sports. And this feigning injury and whatever has to be stamped out. Has to be stamped out.
If people think that, like, that us as fans, as Warrington and Huddersfield, there is sour grapes, like you mentioned, there isn't, because we lost that game because we missed nearly all of us kicks. That's why we lost.
Yeah, you'd have won if you'd have got your kicks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And to be fair, Joel, on games like, look, we're coming into playoff rugby league now. It's like the Saints Wigan game. It's that game. On a knife edge now. This is playoff rugby league. It's going to be on a knife edge. We want games that are close. It was a great spectacle for the sport, with the exception of that incident. Yeah. It was a great spectacle for the sport. And for me, if they really wanted to stamp it out, if they'd give Richie Marler a 4-game ban, your season's just finished, son. Or just banned him for the rest of the season. That'd have sent the one message to all Super League players: this has got no place in our game. Yeah. So if you want to play on a Sunday or a Thursday or whatever day it falls on, you don't play at.
That's you out the grand final, son, if you get there. But it's
absolutely, mate. Absolutely, mate. Right, let's get back into some action, boys. I think we've said our piece on that one. We said
it'd be interesting to see what the forum thinks about that as well.
Absolutely. Well, they're all in. I think everybody's going in there. I mean, I don't think anybody condones it, quite frankly, in the forum. They're all pretty much following suit. Me and Greg said last week, probably, with hindsight, when we were organising the fixtures, this should have been earlier in the season. Perhaps it'd have been a slight, but again, no credit to Toulouse. Again, they were competitive in this game. Yeah, and Fouad Jahar, all right, easy tries, but not been as potent in 22 as 21. As we get into the business end of the season, I'm sure Catalan Dragon fans will be happy to see both edges, Davies and Jahar, doing what they were doing pretty much all last year. Can you hear me, boys?
Yeah, sorry, mate. You broke up a little bit there.
Yeah, we're having big gremlins tonight. Saying they'll be very pleased that Catalan fans will be very pleased that Jahar and Davies are hitting form at the right time.
Yeah, I think before you turn into a Dalek, Dave, he said that Jahar hasn't been as potent this year, but coming into form just at the right time, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a shame that they can't get more fans into that stadium, because it's a great stadium.
Yeah. And this was big, Joel, for Catalan, because, you know, we've been critical of Catalan. I think even when Greg was away, we were talking about Catalan. They'd become a little bit inconsistent. Back-to-back wins this close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Big for Catalan. Big.
Yeah.
I know we'll talk about it later when it comes to it, but these last 2 games for Yaha has been pivotal. It's been brilliant. I don't know what it is about this year. I don't know if you guys agree, but what is it with everyone's left edge? It's like everyone's most potent attack is on left edge.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Now you mention it, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Albeit Bevan French has been pretty tidy on the right.
Yeah.
When he's played on the right.
When he's played on the right, I'm only jesting.
He could play right, left, middle.
He can. Yeah.
Wicket
He
keeper.
can.
He can do well.
I believe he also plays a mean game of chess there as well, but that's another story.
And he's not a bad wicket keeper, I believe.
Oh dear.
Oh, talk amongst yourselves, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, massive Bond fan. That is one of the best lines in a Bond film ever. It's just a classic line. Never gets old. But no, credit. Hey, Ego. Tony Gigo was dropped, wasn't he? By Toulouse. That was interesting.
Was it
in this game? Was it this game or was it round 26? In one of the games he was dropped. I mean, it might have been round 26. I can't remember, but he was dropped. Yeah.
Was he dropped or injured?
No, I believe he was dropped.
Was he?
That's interesting.
Fair enough. Mind you, they were confirmed as relegated after this result, weren't they?
Yeah. He's had a good year for Hankinson, hasn't he? Hankinson's had a good. Hankinson can walk away with his head held high this year. He's had a good season.
Yeah. Sorry, Joel, what did you say there?
It's a real shame. Even in this game, when it was pretty much, I think we're at this point where it was mathematically somehow possible. But regardless, they knew that, like their coach said, that they pretty much knew that they were going to go down. But they weren't giving up. They were. It was lovely. Like they were for the pride. They were playing for the pride and
Again,
and that's why I went
from that.
And that's why, Greg, you noticed it in the predictions. I went to lose in round 26 because I just felt that perhaps they were going to carry on and try and sign off with a with a bit of a flurry.
What was Tompkins? Was it Tompkins who was simbing? Oh, just Drinkwater. Didn't Tompkins get simbing as well, or was that the week before? I can't remember now.
I'll have a look in a minute. But again, talking of Drinkwater, he dropped Drinkwater, didn't he, against Leeds?
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a kick up the backside or what, but I mean that was quite an interesting thing to see Drinkwater given a week. Maybe he's just managing his squad. I don't know.
Drinkwater's had quite a good year. I was very surprised he were dropped.
Yeah.
Great run this from Ashwell Bot, isn't it?
I mean,
to a point.
It was all right while he had the ball in his hand.
Well, he had the ball in his hand, yeah. I thought that was his try. But yeah, no, he's been again another player for Toulouse who's been quality.
Yeah, and I think he will get snapped up by a Super League team next season. Ashwell Bolt. I think there might be a couple of Toulouse players who will find themselves.
Well, Guy, I mean, do you know what, Reg? We've just heard that Wardle is on his way back to maybe back to Huddersfield. Tell you, Guy Armitage, mate. I tell you.
Yeah, has that come through to Just?
I don't know. I just think, I've seen enough of Armitage this year to think, you know what, good player.
He's fitting quite well with us.
Yeah. He's a good player. He is a good player.
Maybe we could get him and loan him for you and swap for Wardle again.
Yeah.
Well, we're at it. Can we loan you Powell and we'll have Watson for next season?
No, absolutely not.
Hey, but
please,
actually,
please.
Well, I think we all agree the first 5 games next season for Powell are huge.
I believe he has 6 games.
Yeah, well, you're giving him an extra one there. I think those first 5 games next year are huge.
But what I didn't say was game 1 was the Huddersfield game. So he's got the Huddersfield, the Salford, and then 4 games next season.
I'd say I also saw people with a lot of rugby league knowledge that are now calling out Ryan Sheridan as whoever's been in charge of Warrington's defence this year Warrington need to look at it there. Right, I mean that was the Tompkins one, mate. That was the yellow, and it was a yellow.
Yeah, and he doesn't get a ban. He doesn't get a ban.
Well, he won't. Well, he won't, will he? He won't because I mean, he'll probably get 3 Albert Goldthorpe points for that.
Was that Tompkins?
Yeah.
He's the teacher's pet, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. Sam, who can do no wrong, Sam. But just to let you know, just to let you know, Sam Tompkins did get 3 points for this game.
You are joking.
Nope.
Oh, word.
Sam Tompkins is now level with Brodie Croft for the Albert Goldthorpe. Can somebody explain that to me? It's laughable.
Oh, do we know actually the people that are picking this?
Yes, the media.
It's the journalists. It's the people in League Express who go and cover the games. But I just don't. It happened last season. Sam Tompkins, Albert Goldthorpe. It's happening again this season. I'm sorry.
Well, they changed the system halfway through last season. The Sam Tompkins.
That was the Man of Steel, wasn't it?
Yeah. They changed how they counted the points up, and he suddenly went from 15th to top and stayed there.
Yeah, and this is the laughable thing, Joel. Yeah, he's 4 points clear of Jay Field. He's 9 points clear of Bevan French. And you're like, what is going on?
We said the other week, didn't we? Was it when you guys were on, or was it when I was on with you, Dave? When we were talking about are they? No, that was it. You were talking about it last week, weren't you? He's not even in. He's probably not even in the top 20 for us,
mate. Well, on the Man of Steel league table, it's far more credible his position. But I don't know what it is with League Express and the Albert Goldthorpe, but it's absolutely disgraceful that at this moment in time, Sam Tompkins is leading alongside Brodie Croft, the Albert Goldthorpe, and the likes of Field, who's been quality all season, Tommy Makinson for Saints, who have been quality all season. Bevan French is another. I'll even tip me out to Chris McQueen. Second row is not a fashionable position, but I'll tell you what, Chris McQueen for me has been far more consistent and potent for Huddersfield than Sam Tompkins has been this season. Yeah, I just don't get it.
Laughable.
I know what it is. Laughable. It is bone idle journalism.
Well, I don't know.
Bone idle journalism, and as I say that as a former journalist, it is lazy journalism where they can't be bothered to look out. They can't be bothered to look outside of certain players. And we've said this before with Sky with Man of the Match.
Yeah.
And it is lazy journalism, and it doesn't do the sports any good. It's because they see him as a figurehead for the sport, so we must have him up there because he's a figurehead of the sport. But he's not. He is a good player. I won't deny he's a good player, but he's not been the best player this season.
And mate, obviously they haven't announced who got the points for the round 26, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was in the points charts for that as well. But anyway,
I just don't know how he didn't get at least one game for that.
It's copy and paste culture, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Wakefield, I remember, and I've certainly got egg on my face. I think I remember about 2 or 3 weeks ago saying I didn't fancy Wakefield to pick up another win, and lo and behold, they're the form team in Super League for wins.
They're unstoppable at the minute, mate.
They play. It's like since they've got that monkey off the back, they've been outstanding, haven't they?
Yeah. And talking about OKR, Corbin Sims gets a 3-match ban. What's the point in that?
Well,
what's the point giving Corbin Sims a 3-match ban?
I don't know, mate.
Do you know what week we're on? Disciplinary committee. Do you know what week we're on?
Well, it's one of those, isn't it? It's one of those. What can you do? Have they announced Millie yet for Castleford? Has that been announced?
Yeah, he's on his way, isn't he?
Is it? Yeah. But has it been formally announced? Where's Andy and Sue? Where's Andy and Sue when I need them?
I don't know if it's official or is it, but it's pretty much odds
on.
No,
yeah. I've not heard a formal announcement on Millie yet. I have to say. I
think he's on his way.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely on his way at the end of the season. There's no question about that. But I haven't heard an announcement.
Along with Fafita as well.
Yeah, Big Dave, of course, slotting over a kick in this game, which was a nice touch. And to be fair, it wasn't a gimme. It took some kicking.
It reminded me of Baloo doing it at Saints, wasn't it, I think?
No, and Mr. Murphy did, and not Mr. Murphy's doing his stock no harm at all, is he?
No, it wasn't in this game. It was,
No,
the
we're just
Yeah,
gonna say,
sorry, it was yesterday's game, wasn't it? Yeah.
26, yeah. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right, mate. He's in fine fettle, is the lad. But yeah, no, credit to Wakefield. You know, they've been really good. Here's that left edge for you again. And I mean, what a finish! What a finish that is.
if we want to stay
There we
up,
go.
if
What's that?
Wakey want to stay up, they've got players like Murphy. They've got to keep them.
Well, yeah, I think they will keep Murphy, but I think there's that many players that they're losing. Their recruitment. I mean, you know, you talk about. I mean, Warrington have done their recruitment. Wakefield's recruitment for next year is pivotal. It really is, because we were speaking again.
12 players that's left now.
Yeah,
It's got to be getting on for that.
And that's
getting
the full team.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few ex-Warrington players in there next season.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of players leaving Warrington, and you know they were announced at the
I know
weeks,
a lot of rumours to be going to Lee, but you know, if you find ourselves at Wakefield, you just don't know, do you?
Right, let's take a look at him. The high flyers of Sue. I'm loving watching Salford at the minute. I have to say,
Playing great rugby. They're playing great.
Mate, I could watch Bodie Croft all day.
Oh, mate, he's superb, isn't he?
Yeah, look at the hands here. Look at that. Oh, now you know I have to say that looks a bit dodgy to me.
Yeah, there was a few dodgy ones against Castleford, I've got to admit.
That looks a bit dodgy to me. The spine of this team, you know, Ackers, Sneed, Croft, Briley, if they can keep them fit. And then, of course, we mentioned about Watkins. Watkins in great form. Lafai has been outstanding this season for him. Dion Cross, who goes under the radar for him. Yeah. And we haven't even talked about leading try scorer and number 2 try scorer in Super League, Kentio, yet.
Kentio, yeah.
I mean, you know, yeah, they might not have reserves, but their starting team, if they can keep him fit, could go a long way.
Yeah. To me, Lafai has been one of the players of the season.
Yeah, good player.
Ball handling skills are second to none.
Yeah, he's got an offload, hasn't he?
Yeah. His ball handling skills are better than Corey Norman's. Sorry.
I don't know how he's not getting more points on board for the season.
Sorry, did I say that out loud then?
You did, yeah. Who's that, Joel? Who's got more points?
Lafai.
Yeah, but he's set up a lot, hasn't he? Yeah, he has. You know, I think his assist ratio is pretty impressive. Yeah, he's tied, and he seems a good pro as well. You know, from the outside looking in, you know, he looks a good club man to me. Very, very unselfish. Plays the easy path. I mean, look at that. I mean,
you know, he's what Salford have become renowned for over the last few years. Plucking a gem out of nowhere.
Yeah,
he's like the perfect centre.
Yeah,
there's no other way to call it really. He's what a centre should be. He's the man that, like the sacrificial lamb almost, isn't
he? That's a real good way to term it, to be honest. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
there's your mate Joel, Brad Fash going in. You like a bit of Brad Fash, don't you, mate?
Oh, aye, and his hairdo.
Well, the fight pushes him.
He does.
It's a great pineapple.
I think so. I think his hair's got something to do with it.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I mean, you know, Peter Matausi's got a similar haircut. Very different players at the moment, but I won't go there, Greg. I won't light the fire. I won't light the fire, Greg.
Should we not go there?
Let's not go there.
Aerodynamical, is it?
Let's not talk about Maui, shall we not?
It's a lovely try, innit? Did you see that then? Briley there, you know, the balance, everything, you know, beautiful. Briley for me.
Is that Sir Kenneth Seo again?
It was Sir Ken, yeah.
He's a finisher, isn't he? He's a finisher.
Briley's, do you know what? Briley's another one. You know, I didn't think he was that good until this season. But again, this season, he's just absolutely been outstanding.
I've liked Brearley since he played for Lee. I think he's been I think he was the player to replace Lee Brears at Warrington. Briley.
He's a player, mate. He's playing.
He reminded me of like Greg Eden. You know when Greg Eden were at fullback.
Yeah.
He were good, but he wasn't amazing. And now he's pretty much playing wing now, isn't he? I think.
Who's that?
He's playing fullback, isn't he? But I mean, he was
playing standoff on Monday.
Oh, Eden's been everywhere. Yeah. I mean, God, you know, Yeah, I think he's one of them, isn't it? He's got, by all accounts, when he goes into training, he's got like a loyalty card and he stamped all the different positions he's played in. You know, it's just like unbelievable.
He gets a free coffee if he
free
ticks all
coffee
the
at
boxes.
training. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, once he's got the full set.
Yeah,
But now
he'll be at prop on Saturday or Sunday.
But again, another player, great pro. Puts his hand up, goes where he's told to go, and gives it his best shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's cut out balls with 50-50, aren't he? In terms of he either it's a long way off the mark, but fair play to him. He's another player who, again, we've got a lot of time for. His strike rate is outstanding.
Greg Eden,
outstanding, outstanding.
As well. Great and an intercept as well, Greg Eden.
Yeah. Outstanding. So well done to Salford. Great couple of tries in there. I mean, just great to watch.
Must we?
Yeah, we do. And listen, Warrington. And I was thinking about this before we came on tonight. In fairness to Powell, steady, Greg. In fairness to Powell, there has been, I think, at least 4 games this season that they've lost by a point or 2. They're still losses. They go the other way, which could have happened in all of them games. It's a different story. And it's fair to say it's been a very topsy-turvy year. So I think it's right Warrington have stuck with him. And I do think it's right that he gets judged on next year, because we always say that British coaches should get given a chance. We've got a coach here that's been given a chance. Give him a chance. And he deserves that 5 to 6 games next year to just... And then after that, all bets are off for me.
What you're saying is true, mate, but the fact of the matter is those games we've lost by 2 or 3, we've been winning in a commanding position in most of them. Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely shocking from a team.
Oh, I know.
It's just, but this from Dufty. Oh, no, sorry. I thought that was where Dufty chased back. No. That was absolutely scandalous from a tout.
Yeah, this is the Dufty one.
This is Dufty. Yeah. I mean, this is a Jason Clark yesterday.
Yeah. Look at that.
This is magnificent.
Yeah, that's superb. That's superb.
I was stood on the south. I was stood at the south stand, and I thought he'd scored that.
Yeah,
I really thought that was a try.
No, it was. It's a hell of it. I mean, Joel was saying it as well, and this was good from Fewless. But Joel was saying it. He saw Dufty earlier in the season at Huddersfield, and he said to me while you were away, "What a player!" And what a player! Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Warrington have unearthed one there because he's adapted very quickly, hasn't
he? Yeah, he's.
There was back there, where I can't remember what the player it was, where the Castle scored.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Greg Eden.
Yeah, right. I've seen this from Warrington a little bit this season. It happened the other day. They put in and we did it. So, I've got no room to talk, but they put in these little grubber kicks. They get picked up, and it's like they're just kicking for kicking's sake. There's no intent to it, and that's. Yeah. I think that's where you've been let down a little bit. I know that they don't always come off, do they? But when it's happening more often than not, you need to be looking at your game a little bit more. I think. And
Minikin should not be playing for Warrington.
Mannequin
shouldn't be playing. Minikin for me shouldn't be playing for Warrington. No. And the more
you got his name wrong, Dave. It's Mannequin.
I heard. I'm trying not to humour you, sir. But I'll tell you, mate. And as great a player he's been for Warrington, Ratchford is not a standoff.
No.
And that worries me. Going into next season, this worries me.
Yeah. I mean, is this the? I mean, swear words elude me when it comes to Metaltia, I'm afraid. But I think we've seen the future yesterday. Leon Hayes and George Williams have got to be the starting halfback partnership next year. Have to be.
What was your thoughts on Hayes, Joel?
He probably was. I think one of your best players I've seen for a while. He really put in a good shift, and especially, I think I don't know if it was. There was a couple times where he were going in for a tackle, lovely little offload, and do you know it was always to Dufty.
Yeah.
You know what happens with Dufty? If he's in front of the man, you ain't catching him. On that though. Am I right? So have you actually signed Gil Dutson and Cassiano for next year?
Yes. Yeah.
So you think that them two are very well known for their offloading. If they can link up with Dufty and someone like speed. And what's the other young lad you've got?
Riley Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a scary team there.
Mate, the pack. There's one thing's for certain next year. The pack is going to be bruising for Warrington. So I think you're spot on. All bets are off for the backs. The backs have to perform next season because they've got. I mean, every single one of them: Dudson, Cassiano, Vaughan. Jesus, Maguire's a man. Yeah, McKaylee can punch a hole. And then, we're not even talking about the fact that Bullock has had a phenomenal season off the bench. Where's Fielding going to fit in? Don't know. Unbelievable. So, yeah, all bets are off next year. And we've actually got, which we haven't had, God, when was the last time we had it? Even in the Challenge Cup years, when did we have it? I mean, we've actually got genuine pace in our back line. Yeah. Genuine pace. We've because like you look at Monaghan. Monaghan was phenomenal for Warrington in terms of his try ratio. He wasn't the quickest.
Matt King was.
Was quick.
Riley was.
Chris Hicks was quick.
Atkins was fast.
Yeah, Chris Hicks was quick.
Kevin Penny was fast.
Right, come on. Right,
yeah, but no, he gets a lot of bad press, Kevin Penny, but he doesn't deserve a lot of it.
From what I saw yesterday,
Kevin Penny.
It needs to be your starting six.
Say again?
Leon, after what I saw yesterday, Leon has to be.
Leon Hayes has got to start. It's got to be him and Williams next season.
Well, do you know, I'm going to be honest. I've not rated Williams at all.
I have not.
I've not. He was. I think the last 6 or 7 games, there's been glimpses.
Well, he created 3 Huddersfield tries on his own yesterday with forward passes, knock-ons and poor kicks. But I think George Williams needs an organising back with him. And Leon Hayes just organised that second half. He organised the pack. He moved the pack around the pitch.
Yeah. George has got too much.
Yeah, it took the pressure off George Williams.
Yeah.
And Leon Hayes has got to start at halfback. He's got to start against Salford on Saturday, and he's got to be the number 6 I'd put him at number 7 and have Williams at 6.
Well, massive plaudits coming in from the Huddersfield contingent. Greg Roach saying Hayes was man of the match. Freddie McGilvey saying he changed the game when he came on. Yeah. Dawn Baker can't believe how poor Warrington had been under Powell. It goes on. But anyway, that's the Warrington bit done. We'll come back to him later. But here we go. Wigan, what a turnaround. And after this especially, Saints will be looking over the shoulder in the grand final here.
Yeah, to be fair, Saints have rested a few players.
Not that many, mate.
They've rested a few, though.
Makinson's a massive loss. When Makinson doesn't play, massive loss.
Is he out injured again, Makinson?
No, he was back. He was back on round 26. I don't know why he didn't play.
I think he got hurt on Monday, though, didn't he?
No, he was playing. He was playing on Monday. I don't know if he got hurt.
I think he did his hamstring. I might get mixed up.
I don't know.
I might be getting Sargentson. Sorry, it was Sargentson.
Yeah, it was Sargentson who went off. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Yeah. It's me age.
But there's Bevan French doing what Bevan French does. 29 tries now for the season. Will he get the golden boot, boys?
Yeah, Morgan Smithies was a bit naughty in this game.
You like a bit of Morgan, don't you, mate?
He was a naughty lad. He's a disruptor, Morgan Smithies.
And I don't know if you noticed, but they do like to play Smithies against Saints.
Yeah, because he winds them up.
Yeah, they do. He always seems to get given the loose forward berth against Saints.
He's one of those nasty little players, Morgan Smithies, who winds the opposition up. And you need one of those in every team you've got.
If it's not Huddersfield, Joel, because obviously, you'd like Huddersfield to win it, and for me, they've got a genuine chance. This was a great try. Yeah. Look at the support there from Field again, and Smith has gone under the radar. Smith's been outstanding as well. But Joel, if it's not Huddersfield, who do you think it'll be?
After I'm only going to mention Huddersfield's game yesterday, and you'll understand why. The first half, we were playing like we'd have beaten anybody in the playoffs. Absolute guarantee. How we played it second half, if we were playing Saints or Wigan, we would have been turned over and some. So I'm a bit worried for us because we've backed off a little bit. But I see now, for some reason, I'm just feeling like Wigan Salford. I'd love to see.
Yeah,
do you know what? I'd love to see a Huddersfield Salford grand final. I really would.
It'd be amazing.
I'll tell you the thing about Salford and Wigan at Old Trafford. It's a big pitch. That pace on Old Trafford. Frightening.
How's
Liam
Farrell not further up there in the Man of Steel?
Mate, well, because you know these workhorses in the middle, you know, and I'm probably being a bit disingenuous there to Mr. Farrell because he's far more than a workhorse, but they're just not fashionable, are they?
Has Liam Farrell? I don't think he's ever won Man of Steel, has he?
No,
and he's by far and away the most consistent second rower for the last 10 years.
He's been in a lot of dream teams, though. He's been in a lot of dream teams. You know, so he's got the recognition there, but in terms of the big accolade of Man of Steel, no.
See, to me, Liam Farrell is what Man of Steel is all about. Consistently scores tries, never misses a tackle, rarely makes a mistake. He's always there, and that to me is Man of Steel, as far as I'm concerned.
And you know what? An honest player as well, Joe, wouldn't you say? Honest player.
Oh yeah.
You know, I can't remember any time, Greg, where me, you, or anybody. And Marshall does well here, but I can't remember a time where he's ever been involved in controversy. I mean, again, fans forum, tell me if I'm talking rubbish, but I can't remember a time where Liam Farrell has been caught up in controversy.
Do you know? I watched the game between these two in the semis at Challenge Cup because I was there, and I purposely got there really early to watch the whole game.
Yeah,
and what I thought was really, I really like Liam Farrell since then because every time he had a bit of downtime where there was not much action going on, he was looking around at our fans, talking to people, giving them a smile, looking at even some at Saints fans when he'd gone up, and I thought that were great. You know, clearly he's a guy that likes to be liked.
Yeah.
So I think he's one of these. He's just such a fantastic player, and then obviously he had a great game that game in them semis.
Yeah. I mean, Liam Farrell is how he's never won Man of Steel is beyond me, really.
I tell you what's been interesting as well. You talked there about Wigan, you talked there about Salford. Saw a little bit of it a minute ago in the Liam Marshall try, and we've seen it. I mean, this was again great. I mean, brilliant finish. Delighted.
Look at that.
The speed of the hands.
Stand up, you know.
You know, on the edges. You know, Salford and Wigan. God, it goes through the hands quick. I mean, you know, it's lightningly. You know, they've got ball playing centres and second rowers that can just basically, you know, catch and pass in the blink of an eye. Which you know, at playoff level, at grand final level, those are the skills that come to the fore.
Well, do you know what, Dave? What you've just said? I was literally just thinking, and we must be thinking the same thing. Old Trafford is a very hard ground.
Yeah.
Now, Huddersfield, I don't think we've got quick enough players. Right, Daniel Levi can run, he's fast.
Yeah.
But Tui, he's playing fullback. He's not quite quick enough to catch your Dufties and your Jai Fields and your French.
It's the flair element, isn't it?
It's the flair. But Wigan and Salford have got in abundance. Saints have to an extent.
Yeah.
I think those two teams. I mean, if Salford got to Old Trafford, the way they're playing and the spine of the team would
You'd back them.
Tell you,
you'd back them.
They could seriously do the impact. It more so than the last time they got to the grand final. The last time they got to the grand final, they did not have the balance that they've got now. That team is a very balanced team. So if they get to Old Trafford, wow.
Is that Salford?
Yeah.
Well, and again, but for a few calls that could have gone the other way, they'd have won that game.
No, don't disagree with you.
There are a few calls that kind of, I think it's fair to say, and I think most people might agree, that the 50-50 calls went against Salford that day.
Absolutely. No, don't disagree. Right, gentlemen, lots of action to get through this evening. We're getting through it slowly but surely.
We're going to be here till the early hours.
It's going to be great. It was always going to be a bumper edition. But anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to back. We're going to go back to back, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we're going to go team of the week for round number 25, followed very quickly by the top performers of round number 26, and then we'll get into some action. So happy days. Here we go. Enjoy for your viewing pleasure the Super League Raw team of the week for round number 25. Here it comes. It's the team of the week for round number 25. 5, here we go again, and at fullback, keeping his place week on week, it will be Ryan Riley of the Salford Red Devils. A very important try, 3 assists, making sure that they overcame the black and white. Salford keep marching on towards the playoffs. At number 2, it will be Bevan French, the leading try scorer in Super League now with 29 tries. Is he going to get the golden boot? We believe that he will, in sensational form against the mighty Saints. At number 3, he will be also keeping his place week on week. Ricky Latelli of the Huddersfield Giants, a try and an assist in a very, very good performance against the Leeds Rhinos, albeit on the losing side, but Latelli in good form. At number 4, it will be Dion Cross of the Salford Red Devils, for once keeping out Tim Lafay this week. A very, very good try indeed. Mr. Cross right where he should be, on the mark to touchdown, 141 metres to boot. Well done. And number 5, Farhad Yaha. As the season goes on, Yaha is getting back to the form that made him eye-catching in 2021. 2022, another hat-trick here, and he will be very important as they go towards the playoffs. At number 6, it's the new recruit at Hull FC, Mr. Will Smith. He was very good indeed, albeit on the losing side against the Salford Red Devils, but he was good enough to put him in at standoff in week number 25. 2 assists, 1 try, well played. At number 7, Harry Smith of the Wigan Warriors. We were disappointed last week that he wasn't finding his way into contention for England, of course, for the England Knights, but yet again, his goal kicking and his assisting was crucial in this game against St Helens. At number 8, David Fafita. That goal, oh, what a fantastic send-off for a player who has been very good indeed for the Wakefield Trinity and fully deserving of the prop forward position for week number 25. We wish you well, sir. At number 9, Matt Parcell of Hull KR. All right again, yes, he was on the losing team against Wakefield Trinity, but he was very, very good indeed. A very good assist, 4 dummy runs, busy as always, the pick of the hookers. At number 10, Liam Watts for the Casford Tigers, of course, as always, played very well indeed against Warrington Wolves. 30 tackles as a prop forward, 162 metres from 19 carries. How busy was Mr. Watts? Quality! At number 11, Liam Powell, yes, as they said on Sky, might not have played the whole game, but he is so good, especially when the Saints come to town. Hopefully the injury is not too big that it will keep him out for the rest of the season, but Mr. Fowle, you have been superb in 2022, keeping his place yet again at the second row is Callum Watkins. He's been superb, hasn't he, over the course of the back end of this season, and continues to go from strength to strength, 172 metres from second row, and a very deserved try. And finally, for Hull FC, Lee Jisao. Yes, again, may have been on the losing side, but it doesn't matter. He was still the best loose forward of the round, no question about it. Well played, sir. Fully deserving of our loose forward position. Ladies and gentlemen, your team of the week for round number 25. The team of round number 25, closely followed by the top performers of round number 26. Let's just quickly go back. It's the we announced in terms of the team of the week, gentlemen. Some surprises, I'm sure, in there in terms of, you know, what we like to do here at Super League Raw is pay tribute to players who are best in their positions, whether they win, lose or draw. A little bit different, that team, from the one that our friends at Super League picked last week. What's your thoughts? We'll start with yourself, Joel. What's your thoughts of round number 25's team of the week?
I'm really pleased to see Will Smith in there. He's put a bit of a show on, hasn't he? When he's since he's moved over, and he's someone I would like to see in any team. I think he would fit in pretty well. And as we mentioned him, Liam Farrell, he deserves being in there, doesn't he?
I think so. I thought it was exceptional as always against Saints. So yeah, and maybe Fafita, deserving. He ranked up there a little bit of maybe a bit hard in that one. To be fair, Greg, anybody unlucky not to be in there? Would you say?
I think you've got it pretty much spot on there, mate. I've got to be honest with you. I think sort of David Fafita, he's been solid. Without being, he's just a good forward, and David Fafita. You can't knock him for effort. You can't knock him for consistency. So I'm glad to see him in there, and I think you're pretty much spot on with that. Ricky Latelli as well. A lot of rumours around him this week. One of them connected to coming to Warrington, but I don't think that'll happen.
No.
But yeah, I mean Ryan Braley, he's a good player. You can't knock him.
He's been outstanding. And of course, just for clarity here, keeping their place week on week: Ryan Braley, Bevan French, Ricky Latelli, Harry Smith, and Callum.
I don't know how Harry Smith is not in the English. I really don't.
He deserves to be in and around it, doesn't he? But 5 of those 13 were in the round 24 team of the week. Great consistency.
Yeah.
Great consistency. We seem to have a closet Wigan fan in our midst. Dawn Bacon, there's no doubt. She's a Wigan fan. Has to be. She's giving praise here to Smithies. She's loving Harry Smith. Oh, she's got to be. She's a closet pie eater down there. What's in your pie this evening, Dawn? Let us know. Joel, you happy with that, mate?
Yeah.
Good.
Very hard to say anything different.
Good man. Oh, well, we'll just move on then.
Matt Parcell, Matt Parcell has been a consistent member of our team of the week for quite some time.
He's a good player, mate. He's a good player. Right, here we go. Round 26.
There was one thing, Super League. James Roby's finally confirmed he's going to stay on for a year.
Yeah.
Talking about Matt Parcell, because there was rumours that he might have gone to Saints as well earlier in the season.
Well, that's probably why the Dwyer thing didn't get any legs in it.
Yeah,
I think that might have been because there were red hot rumours that he was off to Saints, and then all of a sudden he wasn't.
Leeds have. I think they should have kept hold of Brad Dwyer.
I think obviously they brought, but again, you don't know. I mean, look, they might be bringing people in. You don't know. I mean, like all coaches, Smith will have his irons in fires, won't he? We'll wait and see. Right, round 26. Let's have a look at these. Hull FC, of course, took on Toulouse. Giants against the Wolves in what is an epic. Robins took on a much changed Warriors side. Fair play to the Warriors. They give them the kids of Wigan certainly fared better than the kids of Saints. Tigers, Red Devils. Disappointing for the Tigers, but class again from the Red Devils. We'll see that in a minute.
Salford outplayed them, mate.
Quality, mate.
Outplayed them.
I have to say, fully looking forward to watching that again. And then finally, Dragons taking on the Rhinos. So let's get into it. Starting off, of course, with this little cheeky game between Hull and Toulouse Olympic. I went with Toulouse. Silly me. But you did the forum on Greg, quite rightly going Hull FC. And you know what? I'm pleased for the Hull fans.
Do you know, I am. But
stunned silence greeted that day.
It feels like it's a little too little bit though, doesn't it, really?
Hang on.
Hello.
What's happened there? Oh, hello. What's going on here? So what's happening? I genuinely do not know what is happening there. I don't know why you're getting the sound.
Tell you what, we've got some gremlins tonight, haven't we?
We have. That's well and true. What's happening there? You know what? I haven't got a clue. My apologies. Tell you what we'll do.
You can't beat a bit of background noise.
You can, but we've got to be careful, mate.
Yeah. Have you made me all small?
I don't know. What's going on? Do you know what? I genuinely don't know where that sound's coming from.
The crowd. Which is unusual.
But I don't know where it's coming from.
I say that out loud. Sorry, only joking, Hull fans.
I do not know where that sound is coming from.
Tell you what, Joel, you'll be doing this for the rest of next season. I'll be fired off.
Well, someone seems happy with the trio.
I do not know. Right, let me just try something. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Hello,
I can still hear you.
you can still hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Right, So I can barely hear you now, but I mean, it's I genuinely don't know where that's coming from. The Gremlins have certainly come to play this evening. That makes no sense. No sense at all.
This is like the moon landing.
Yeah. Anyway, don't even get me started on that. I mean, that's did you say the moon landing then?
Yes.
Tell you, this is really winding me up. Tell you what I want to do. Just bear with me.
Sorry, I'm laughing at my own joke there, Pete. I do apologise for laughing.
What you doing that though?
We've got it. It's all right. We're there. Know exactly what's going on.
What went on, Dave?
Fantastic.
Explain to the people.
We boxed that off. That's great. I can turn my sound back off. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. This is, of course, Raw. We always say it's Raw. It's very Raw this evening.
Did everybody else not hear us then?
I don't know. No, it's just that background noise was doing me Sweden. Needed to get rid of that. Yeah, but tell you what, just off piste, right? If any of our American cousins are watching us, over on Tenderhooks are Dawn here. Love my boys in cherry and white. What other colours do you like them in, Dawn? That's another story. Anyway, hello.
Hello.
Steady.
Would you like me and Joel to switch off and leave you in peace?
Well, no. But no, just speaking very, very briefly about our friends over the pond, I had to laugh in non-Super League news, just humour me on this one. So here's one for you, right? In 60, whatever it was, we took... 69. We took astronauts to the moon with as much technology that runs a washing machine. And we can't even get in 2022 a rocket to take off on time. And the Americans still believe they went to the moon. Anyway.
Controversial.
Very controversial, but I think there is a degree of fact, as always.
What I want to know is they were in a rocket the size of my bedroom, or landed the size of my bedroom, and yet they got a car on the moon that was the size of a Bentley. How did they get that there?
Well, here's another one. Here's another controversial thing for you, right?
Conspiracy theories.
Hey, who'd have thought this, You come from rugby league and now we've got off piece. In 1973, Elvis Presley did the first ever live concert via satellite on Earth. Yet, we have the technology in the late 60s to send pictures from the moon to Earth. There's another controversial one for you. But anyway, we digress. Joel's getting bored. We'll get back to Toulouse. Do you stay with us, Joel? You're doing a great job, mate.
I wasn't born then, so I couldn't comment.
What are you trying to say, Joel? Well, I wasn't, mate.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, I was.
I wasn't going to say that, sir, but yes, you were. Anyway, back to Hull Toulouse. So we're back to Hull against Toulouse. Like I said a moment ago, pleased for Hull. We've still got silence.
The same silence as you were met with before, mate.
Please for him, but like I was going to say, it was just like too little, too late. That's how they should have been playing throughout the season.
Yeah.
It's not like they're playing at a bottom. I know that Toulouse are at the bottom, but they've not necessarily played like bottom side team all season.
Yeah.
No.
Hull have done what Hull always do, and I don't want to upset any of our Hull friends. They start like a house on fire and then just fade away halfway through the season. And they do it every year. And if they could sort that out, they'd be a force to be reckoned with. Because on paper, they've got a great team.
Yeah.
What is it that makes them start off like a house on fire and beating everybody? Halfway through the season, they fall away.
I'm sure Hull fans would love to know the answer to that question, mate.
This has been the story for the last 4, 5, 6 seasons.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Crazy.
You're not wrong. Well, yeah, I mean, go on, Joe.
I wonder how Brett Hodgson's feeling, because clearly he is a good coach. He knows how to get the best out of his players, but it's not enough. It's just only on the odd occasion.
But again, he's another coach. It's not his team, is it?
No, exactly. But you look at Hull back in the day. I can't remember his name now. When the coach of the Tasha Doom, what were it?
McRae. Is it McRae?
Yeah, that's it.
Tasha Doom.
The
Handlebar King.
Yeah, he would.
Should have been his VZ top.
You look at the Hull team back then. They were winning everything.
Yeah.
That's where we expect Hull to be.
Good pace, that wasn't it? Look at the pace. Beautiful. It's a beautiful. Oh, we like that, don't we?
Can't see it,
cheeky.
Dave. Can't see it.
You can't see it?
No.
Oh, right. Sorry, mate. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, let's see it. Go on.
Oh dear, we're having a right mare, aren't we? Here we go. Oh dear. Yeah, but if you watch this here now,
Great pace, mate.
Here it comes. Watch this now. Watch this. Afterburner on. See ya.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's beautiful.
Look at that. And watch the finish though. Watch the finish. Watch the finish.
Oh,
Oh,
that's just
hey.
showing off.
Hey, that's what we're talking about.
I'd give me a yellow card just for that.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. But Toulouse kept coming. They kept coming. 24-0 down. You've got to give Toulouse a lot of credit, like we have been doing all season. They just kept playing to the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
A
lot of team spirit, mate. A real, the fighters. Oh, was that given us?
No.
That can't be a try.
No. He gave offside, I think. But
I want to say that's only a try of his head, isn't it?
I'd say it would have been really, and look, we've said this many a time. I think it would have been really interesting had Toulouse
again
have remained up for them to build again. I think because I think that in the same way that Catalan were given a bit of dispensation early doors, I think Toulouse could have gone on to become very competitive.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, mate, Warrington would have been relegated.
I'm not too convinced, but yeah, no, I'm not. No, but we've said, haven't we? We promote Featherstone and Lee, won't we? And get rid of the round robin. That's what should do.
We should do, but that's what should happen. But if Warrington had finished bottom this season, they were down.
Yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. Well, absolutely. But I don't disagree with you, mate. I don't disagree with you, mate. But I just think
very hard though. They want to be in Super League.
Ellis going in for his little.
Ellis Longstaff.
Ellis yeah, going in. And he's.
But again, as you say, the sensible thing is to promote another two teams and have a 14-team division where we don't play loop fixtures.
Correct.
That would be a sensible thing to do.
Are you on about expanding the game there, Greg?
Yeah, I know.
There's a thought.
Controversial, I know.
There's a thought.
No, great. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
14 teams, two up, two down.
Yeah, correct. I agree totally.
And that will promote real competition. And you'll find that teams will be battling much harder because there's a chance of two teams going down.
Yeah. You get Featherstone and Lee into this division next year, and you've got 2, 3, 4 more local derbies in Yorkshire and Lancashire.
Yeah, you've got potential for enough teams there to have enough players for like a state of origin Yorkshire Lancashire derby. Exactly.
Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more, gents. Couldn't agree with you more. It's the way forward.
Of course it is.
As Paul Newman once said, the poet that is Paul Newman in Butch Cassidy and the Sundad's Kid, we have vision, gentlemen, and the Rugby Football League all wear bifocals. But that's another story. That is another story.
I don't know if when you were talking about fun facts.
Go on, mate.
You know that finish earlier in this game?
Yeah.
Where the front flip. Yeah. I believe only Gene, back in the early 2000s, had done that, scored the try, was awarded it, and given Simbin for a dangerous try.
Brilliant.
Well done, mate.
You can guarantee a Warrington player had been Simbin for doing that. Do we have to watch this? This is painful.
We do, mate. Honestly, half time. As a Warrington fan, you can't wait for the season to end. But do you know what? Credit where credit is due.
Look at Wardle. Wardle's superb. He's a centre. Wardle.
Yeah, Dufty, mate. What a player. What a player. One thing's for certain. I'm optimistic. As a Warrington fan, I'm genuinely optimistic with the acquisitions we've made.
This is dreadful defence.
Defence coach, mate, needs to go. Sorry. It's been woeful all season. And you'd agree with this, Joel. You shouldn't be losing. You didn't lose a game scoring 38 points. If you're going to score 36 points in a game, you shouldn't be losing it.
No, that even though we won on points, to me that is like a loss. And I promise this is no disrespect at all, but from that first half, that should have been over and done with by half time because that is a winning scoreline.
Yeah.
Good good teams, Wigan and Saints, don't slacken off. They press the pedal down and go into second gear and third gear. For some reason, I don't know why this year.
This is a good try.
Yeah, but again, Ratchford.
Yeah, Ratchford is 2 years beyond his best,
mate. I'm worried. I love Stefan Ratchford. He's been a great servant for the club, but sorry.
I mean, again, I think Pulis has consigned himself to reserve football next year. I'm sorry. I mean, he's a potential, but he couldn't catch a cold.
Yeah, he's getting found out, and he's getting found out.
Yeah.
I find it hard to disagree.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love Josh Pulis, and I think he's the future of the game, but he was not at the races and hasn't been for a few games when it comes to high ball. It's
like, mate, dare I say it, it's Toby King-S since the contract's been signed.
Well,
something's just gone a bit awry. Yeah, good try.
It's George Williams. And Leon Hayes opened doors for him.
And Dufty, mate. Dufty there on the shoulder yet again. And that, how many times have we seen a Warrington team?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen a Warrington team not supporting, mate, not backing up?
Yeah.
And, Dufty every time on the shoulder, ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, look at it.
Oh, that's great pace, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd like to see him in a foot race with Jay Field, to be honest.
Be interesting. Well, we'll see it. It's bound to happen.
That was being talked about in the stands, that.
Was it?
100 metre.
There we go again.
We'll do it.
Yeah. And away we go again, yeah.
This was Lynch, wasn't it? This was Lynch.
This was I'm sure this is Pulis, that.
No, that's Pulis, yeah.
That's Pulis, that. I mean, out of the mouth stuff, this I would have thought Joel at this point, because at this point you're really creaking, aren't you?
I just think we go again.
Yeah.
We have that every week at the Halliwell Joels, mate. Here we go again.
Great tries. Like I say,
I tell you what, we'd have converted all of those, we'd have won.
Right, well, that's it. Exactly that. And this is it, mate. I mean, yeah, it's been a shocker of a season. Yes, Pal Rightly has got 5 games next season, but I tell you what, different year, couple of close games. I mean, but for example, both away games against Huddersfield could have gone either way. Saints at home could have easily gone Warrington's way. The Castleford game should have gone Warrington. Again. So all of those.
Salford at home. OKR at home.
OKR at home. Salford at home. So we're talking here about 12 points that were knife edged. Could have gone either way, and on every occasion, they haven't gone Warrington's way. So they haven't been as bad as perhaps people are making out they have been. The league table doesn't lie, but they haven't been as bad. It's not like they've been battered every week. They haven't been, and I think with the acquisitions they made for next year, I'm optimistic. It's always our year. We'll just wait another year.
The thing is, Dave, you said it earlier, and what you're doing this year is exact replica of what we did last year.
Yeah,
the game we lose by aren't by a lot.
No.
And it's that difference. Like it's really frustrating for us. We've really struggled for a good kicker.
Yeah.
I think we need a good kicking coach coming in, maybe from like a union team or something.
Mate, I think the whole of rugby league needs a good kicking coach. I mean, when you see the rugby union lads kick a ball compared to us,
to be fair, guys, if you put Ollie Russell in a field full of cows with a banjo, the cows won't be sweating, would they?
When he's on, he's on. Enough.
Just saying. Should I get the next flight back to Cyprus, guys?
Oh, what a line. What a line. John Wilkinson, you'll agree with this, Greg. John Wilkinson there saying, would you put Dufty in the halves?
No, what I would do is Leon Hayes and George Williams, Dufty at fullback.
You mentioned that last week, didn't you? But you've been won over by Mr. Hayes, yeah?
Yeah, he's just class. He did, I could say, he did more in 40 minutes than George Williams has done in 40 games.
Yeah.
I think with his pace, it'll be a disservice to Warrington to put him in the halves.
I agree, mate.
Yeah, he's got to be in a broken field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And I think, as I say, I think Josh Pulis last 3 or 4 games has not done himself any favours.
Yeah, but he's a young lad, and hey, remember,
he'll come strong again. But
Sam Wood, Wood.
Yeah, and we like Josh Pulis. We
do like Josh Pulis.
I just wondered why OKR were playing in the Kangaroos 82 kit.
Was it the Forces round? Was it to do with Forces? I don't know.
Was it?
But I noticed that Leeds played in their Magic strip, didn't they? So was this their Magic weekend?
Times, Leeds, haven't they? They played in it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but
It's a nice kit, I've got to admit.
is that Miske?
Yeah, it's good to try that.
Tell but my last point on Powell, I think for me going into next year, you'd like to think he's moved on the people who don't want to work with him, which means this season he's got a pre-season of players that should be on board with him. There's no dissent in the camp. So this is why all bets are off. He's signed the players. He's completely and utterly, when we do like we did last season, and we'll do it with all the teams like we did last season. When we compare the 23 squad to the 22 squad, I don't think any other squad will be as different as the Warrington one.
Oh, it'll be transformed.
It'll be chalk and cheese, mate. And that is why Powell has to be judged next season, because that is his team. Lock, stock, 2 smoking barrels, it's his. And he's got to be judged on that. But
is this the lowest you've ever been?
Yes. Yeah.
Certainly at Halliwell. Certainly at the Halliwell.
No. This is the lowest we've finished, I think.
Yeah, we were close to relegation, though, if you remember before. So was it just before Super League?
When Paul Cullen came, we brought Paul Cullen in.
Yeah, and that was it. That's probably the worst season I can ever recall.
No, this has been the worst season, mate.
Do you think?
I was genuinely worried that we would go down this season. Genuinely worried.
Not happening.
I don't see next year. If you're not in the top 6, something is seriously wrong.
Well, if we're not in the top 6 next season, then Powell's gone.
Well, he won't get past the first 6 games, mate. No. Right then, let's give credit where credit's due. This young man, Lewis Murphy, last minute addition to it. Again, it won't be because it's Sean Wayne we're talking about here, but Murphy, incredible end to this season. Would you have him in the England squad?
Yes. Why not?
No.
Why not?
Yeah. Won't happen, but I think the lad, he's got pace, he's got power, and he can finish. Look at that.
He reminds me of Ryan Hall a lot,
Right.
That's who he reminds. I mean, he's a poacher. He can score from distance. He's just I would have him in the England squad.
Based on what I've seen, he's a complete winger, isn't he? That's it. That's great. And what hands that is. I mean, that takes some scoring. That.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he scored that while he was having his eye socket broken.
Let's have a look at that again. It deserves to be seen again. Let's take a look at this one again. This is it's magician stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that wasn't that one where he got smashed in the face, was it? But
beautiful.
I think Wakefield are going to miss Miller. I really do.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I rate Miller. I rate Miller a lot.
Could be Castleford's gain that. Without doubt.
Yeah.
But and there's Jarrett. Do you know what? Jarrett's had a good year, hasn't
he? Yeah. Yeah, I think
Jarrett's played well.
He's missed a few games, hasn't he?
But, yeah, he had a couple of rounds off injured, didn't he? But I think he's played more than he's not played, I think, this season. Yeah. And he's done well.
Oh, that's class. That's class. You just stand up and applaud that.
And on young shoulders, because on young shoulders there, he'd have been forgiven there, getting a bit jiggy, over we go, going himself. The maturity there to go, no, the ball is the inside pass here. I'm just going to, and again, so the more I'm seeing Lewis Murphy, the more I'm impressed by him. I think he's got everything, hasn't
he? Yeah, he's going to be certainly a star. He's going to play for England at some point. Definitely going to play for England at some point.
Yeah.
There's a few youngsters on the Saints teams who are looking good as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Ben Davies has had a big look in this year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's played quite a few
and
games.
It's healthy for the future of the sport. Thinking 4 years' time where all these youngsters are going to be.
Yeah.
And I'm looking ahead to 4 years' time when the next World Cup. There's going to be.
There's plenty of talent coming through. Look at that for a finish again. I mean, every try that Murphy scored there was of the highest quality, wasn't it? Every one of them.
Yeah. It's a finisher.
Class.
He's a finisher.
You'd have him in an Huddersfield shirt, wouldn't you, Joe?
Any day. His composure already at his age now to score the finishes he does. He is up there for me in the top 3 currently with how he can finish. And some might not agree, but I don't care. He's brilliant.
Yeah, that's good.
And if he is going to have 5 years down the line, maybe before, NRL sniffing,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, the Dolphins are still having a very, very poor recruitment drive, and I do think once the World Cup's going to be interesting because I think Mr. Bennett will be looking over the pond for a couple of recruits. I'd be very surprised if he didn't.
Yeah, I still think Mr. Bennett will be looking at Cook Islanders and Papua New Guineans and
Maybe
Samoans to fill their roster. I must admit.
Yeah, well, we shall, but see. Right, let's sit back and enjoy a bit of Salford Red Devils.
This was a great performance,
wasn't it? I mean, this was quite superb. The
first 20 minutes was superb.
Yeah, and it just there was shell shock, wasn't there, Cass?
Yeah.
I mean, good. It looks a decent crowd. I don't know what the official attendance was.
Well, good crowd from Salford, and I really hope I'm going to Salford on Saturday, and I really hope the Salford fans fill that ground. I really do.
I think they'll play a weak inside though. Job done in it. I would be amazed.
Still beat Warrington.
Well, I mean, we spoke, Joel, about momentum. I think when Greg was away. I mean, it's a risky thing to do. But I think because of their depleted nature of their squad, because they're running on really fine margins, Salford, I wouldn't be surprised if they played a weekend side against Warrington. Job done. They're in the playoffs. Whether you finish fifth, whether you finish sixth, I think from their perspective,
it's really tough.
Brody Croft. He's just a great player, isn't he?
Go on, Joel. What are you going to say?
I mean, I kind of listened into that discussion when I got back off holiday, and I think momentum is better than resting players. I think in the early days of Super League, where the top team had a week off,
it was detrimental.
It was a killer sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a killer, and I don't agree. I mean, I personally would have a top 8 finish, and first versus 8, etc., and then the semi-finals and the final. Having it consecutive weeks, like the old what was it called?
Premiership.
Premiership, yeah, like the old Premiership used to be.
The old Premiership. Before Joel's time, that one, Joel.
Probably was.
Premiership. Can you remember the Premiership, Joel? It wasn't football.
What year would that have been?
Oh, mate, going back into the 80s now, late 70s.
80s and 90s. The
70s.
Top 8 finish.
Was it the 90s? Did it go as far as the 90s?
Yeah, I think
it
was the 80s. Early 90s, I think it was.
I was born 90.
Yeah. So,
I think I'll retire.
There you go. Joel, what were you going to say, mate?
Castleford beat Wigan in about 92, 93 in the Premiership final.
Yeah,
sure, the 90s.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, it was a top 8 finish. It was first against 8, second against 7th, etc. And it was a knockout competition, and then the teams played in a semi-final, and then got through to the Premiership final. And I think that's what it should be. I think it should be a top 8 finish.
Yeah.
And play like none of this silly first knockout semi-final rubbish. Have a top 8 and a straight knockout.
Got you. Please for Wright. Sure, Wrighty went in there for Salford. Obviously, he's had his injury problems this season. Good to see him on the score sheet for Salford. Go on, Joel. You were going to say something, mate.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one with Salford. I think it's a very big gamble to rest the players. I understand why you would. If you've got a team who is regularly used to being in finals and pressure games, you can rest them because they know how to turn up when they need to turn up. Salford have Brodie Croft, who I believe has been in very big games. Callum Watkins, of course, has been in finals.
Yeah.
But on the whole, Salford don't really have finalist players on them. What I would do, though, if I was a coach, obviously I'm not, I'd do more rotational. So maybe have them going on for maybe half a game, for first half or second half, take them off and then let the young lads have a bit of a run out. It'd do them no harm, but it'd be more rotational than resting, I'd say, because you need to keep that momentum going.
I agree, 100%. I mean, nobody will be happier than me on Saturday afternoon if Salford put the reserves out.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should. And I think they shouldn't do it. For the fans, I think the Salford fans deserve to see the team that's got them in the playoffs.
Fully agree.
Final home game. I think the fans deserve that.
And the players deserve to play them games.
Of course they do. Yeah. I mean, Atkin had a great game as well.
Mate, it's just easy on the eye rugby league, isn't it? I mean, as a neutral, as a purist of the game,
Yeah.
you got to look at that. It was just lovely tries. Croft again, absolutely
It's
unplayable.
just super.
We
would text each other on the afternoon and say, "What a player Croft is!
What a player!" And if it weren't for Sam Tompkins, he'd be Albert Goldthorpe medalist 2022. But that's another story, isn't it? Right. Speaking of Sam. Dragons against the Rhinos, and like I said, I think the Rhinos will be a bit disappointed in the way this one played out for them. I think they'd have been expecting better, wouldn't they? Really, on this one.
I would have thought so. It's that pink kit again, though. How many times have they got beat when they're wearing that pink kit?
Don't know, mate. Don't know, but like I say,
maybe if we have any Leeds fans watching us, tuning in, they could let us know.
It's not been a good one. Oh, yeah, here's one from Dawn. Dawn Baker's come in. She can see Lewis Dodd and Harry Smith as the halfback partnership for England in the next World Cup.
In 4 years' time?
Out
that wouldn't be too painful.
No, if they carry on developing like they did, Wellesby will probably be full back.
Wellesby full back, yeah. Murphy on the wing.
Murphy on one ring, yeah.
I can see Doddy doing it. Doddy's a very good player.
Yeah, we were gutted when he went out. Really, really disappointed for Dodd when he got his injury this year.
Yeah.
It'd have been good to see him, but he'll be back. He'll be back next year, hopefully better. Good talented player.
I've got a shout now. I'm going to say Leon Hayes, if he's given his chance, will be in contention as well. He's that good.
Greg.
No, Leon Hayes.
You heard it here first. He's going in with it. Look at that lovely offload. Lovely. And there's Richie.
Poor defence.
Yeah. From your perspective there, Joel, you must have been delighted to see Richie there cock that one up.
You know what? I'm going to be. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was
Get off the fence. Karma was lovely, was it, mate?
Yeah.
You enjoyed that one.
That's how it felt. Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't do a forward roll and clutch the back of his neck.
Was this the one where they checked it about 20 times before they actually gave the try?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Fair play to Catalan though. They've been a bit on and off past month, and they've turned up.
Yeah.
Well, they needed this.
3 weeks, haven't they?
Yeah, they needed this.
They lost three on the bounce before this.
Yeah. Oh, they've been all over the place, mate. They've been all over the place.
But strong try.
Back-to-back wins. They'll probably want to go and get another one at the weekend. But yeah, I mean, coming at the right time, they needed it because I'll be honest with you, for me, Catalan were looking more and more like the team that were just not even going to be competitive in the playoffs, the way they were playing. But two back-to-back wins, playing Wigan at Wigan. Again, what teams get picked for this?
What team is Wigan going to put out though?
Yeah, but it's on Sky. That's on Friday night, so that'll be get your popcorn in, get your beers in, boys.
That was a great pass.
Yeah, mate, they've been doing that. They did it against Toulouse. Did it again here against Leeds. Some real good bullet cut-out passes.
Look at this for a pass.
Yeah, it's lovely. Morg, mate.
I was just going to say they have to start with Morg next season because they're going to lose him.
Yeah, he's a good player, mate.
He's quality, Arthur Morg. Yeah. Quality player.
Yeah.
It's going to be an epic last round.
Yeah.
Well, this one coming up.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's so much on the line, isn't there? You've got
respect.
Well, you've got your playoff spots because they're not confirmed, are they? Let's have a quick look now.
I think Catalan are, aren't they?
Yeah. Everybody's confirmed by Leeds or Cass, aren't they?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for Leeds and Cass, they're playing.
No, that's the game. That's the game. Yeah, that's round 27, isn't it? I mean, we'll have a look at the league in a minute. I don't know if anybody can leapfrog anybody. I don't know if Catalan could leapfrog you. How far? I can't remember how far you're ahead of him.
Oh, Huddersfield are guaranteed third, aren't they?
Third, I think they were. So first, second, third, fourth are guaranteed, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's just fifth and sixth, isn't it? Where I think Salford could still be overtaken by Leeds. Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll have a look in a minute.
Catalan are only a point behind us.
Oh, right, okay, so that could change.
Yeah.
So, but you both got home games, haven't you?
Sure.
You've both got home games, haven't you? So you know it doesn't change much in that respect, but it may change who you play. Obviously, it'll change who you play. There he is, our Bradley going in, doing what Bradley does. But yeah, I don't know. I was disappointed in this game. I expected this to be a better game than it actually was.
He's a good player.
Dwyer. Oh, are you?
I just wish he'd have stayed at Warrington because, you know, he'd have probably been he could quite possibly be ahead of Darrell Clark now as a starter.
It's contentious, that.
No, but bringing Clark off the bench. I'm not saying Clark.
What about Danny Walker?
Well, we wouldn't have had Danny Walker if Brad Dwyer had stayed.
I like Danny Walker. I think he's a good lad.
I like Danny Walker, but
I like Danny Walker. I like Danny Walker.
Brad Dwyer's a better player than Danny Walker, better hooker than Danny Walker.
Well, all I would say, gentlemen, this has been an epic. I don't know about you, but my energy levels are sapping. My apologies to the people who are watching. We've gone through a lot of rugby league here this evening.
I think a lot of them have got the sleeping bags out and gone.
Probably all right. Before we get into how they stand, what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the team of the week for round number 26, and then we'll have a look at how they stand. We'll have a quick look ahead to round number 27, and then we'll tuck everybody in. And we'll be going out. Going to stick my neck out. I think Rhinos will turn Cass over. Dawn is sticking her neck out. I'm not disagreeing with that. I have to say, right, here we go. Team of the week, round 26 for your viewing pleasure. Here it comes. It's the team of the week for round number 26. Here we go again. And at fullback, he is outstanding. Mr. Matt Duffy making an incredible impression to the Warrington faithful in this short cameo at the end of 2022. How big could he be next year? Only time will tell. 4 tries, quality. And number 2, Ryan Hall. He's had a very consistent year for Hull KR. Just continues to play very, very well indeed. Well done, Mr. Hall. Fully deserving of your place this week on the wing. 111 metres at number 3. Sammy Sony Lang in a game against Leeds that they had to win, and Catalan finally getting into some sort of form as they head in towards the playoffs. A try and assist, 118 metres. Mr. Lange in form at the right time at number 4. Yes, on the losing team, but very impressive again. Jake Wardle of the Warrington Wolves, a try and an assist, 105 metres. Will he still be in the Primrose and Blue in 2023? We will have to wait and see. At number 5, well, it was a shoe-in, wasn't it? Mr. Lewis Murphy of Wakefield Trinity, 4 tries, 125 metres. Mr. Murphy has shot onto the scene at the end of this campaign and fully deserving of the rumours that he should be in the England side. At number 6, Brodie Croft of Salford Red Devils. What a player. A try and assist, 191 metres. Oh, it's just like watching a Bentley purr down the road. Well done, sir. And speaking of sportscast, Mr. Mark Sneed, oh yes indeed, 2 tries, 8 goals, out on his own down the goal kicking chart. I see the Salford Red rising. I see that there's trouble on the way to the playoffs with Mr. Sneed and Mr. Croft. A half-back at number 8, it's Gil Dudson of the Catalan Dragons. A very important try by the prop forward, but more importantly, he had 114 metres in this game, doing very well against a very, very respectable pack of the Leeds Rhinos. At number 9, Andy Ackers, obviously the spine of the Salford Red Devils, has been very paramount to their improved performances, especially in the attacking sense at the end of the season, and Mr. Ackers has been absolutely superb at hooker. Well done. And number 10, Sam Cassiano of the Catalan Dragons. Look at those metres, 146 from 17 carries, doing the hard work, 8 tackle busts, 3 unloads. Superb performance from Mr. Cassiano. At number 11, it will be for his first time on debut in the Super League Raw. Team of the week will be Corey Hall of Wakefield Trinity. A try and assist. Oh, superb, sir. Superb, well played, and congratulations on your first berth. And in the second row for the 3rd week in a row, the first time this has happened all season, Mr. Callum Watkins, 3 weeks in a row. Sensational. A try to assist, 138 metres. He can't go back to centre on this form, can he? And finally, Oliver Partington of the Wigan Warriors. Yes, they were in a losing team. He's been sniffing around trying to get a game all season, and in this game he did his level best to try and pull a victory out for the Wigan Warriors, but to no avail. But even so, a very good display. Ladies and gentlemen, your team of the week for round number 26. For round number 26 in the can, there you go. There's your team of the week. And as said there in commentary, Callum Watkins, the first player in 2022 to be named in 3 consecutive team of the weeks. Congratulations to Callum Watkins. The first time that has happened. What a sensational bit of form he has been in. Thoughts, gentlemen, thoughts?
He deserves it, doesn't he? Absolutely.
Yeah, doing well to keep Liam Farrell out there.
Yes, well, not really. He didn't play.
That's why I didn't keep him out. I'm just keeping you on your toes, Dave, just to make sure you're awake.
Oh, sir.
I'm glad to see Jake Wardle, Huddersfield Giants centre in there as well. I think I don't think he'll be a Warrington player for much longer, Jake Wardle, which is a shame.
No, absolutely. And only the second time this season that halfback combination from the same team has been in team of the week. Only the second time this season that's happened as well.
Well, they were superb. The pair of them just worked so well together.
Yeah,
it was a joy. And look at that, Dudson and Cassiano.
First time that's happened as well. Yeah. I think the first time that we've had two props of the same team as well. So a lot of firsts in that one. To be fair, a lot of firsts. But yeah, that's the team of the week. Obviously, team of the weeks will not be happening for too much longer. Yes, there'll be a team of the week for round 27. Yes, there'll be a team of the week for the first round of the playoffs. But after that, that will be that, because otherwise it'll just be boring. But yes, we may actually look at team of the week for the season, or team of the season. Sorry,
that'll be team of the season. Then,
that'll be team of the season. We'll have a look at who the runners are. And what we'll do, I mean, it'll be a bit painstaking for me to do it, but just look back in each position in terms of who's had the most appearances. So not necessarily, we'll do two. One, the team of the season, most appearances in team of the weeks, and then we'll also maybe have a little chat to decide who would be our dream team.
I think that's a great idea, mate. A dream team.
Prior to the dream team.
See how different it is to the actual dream team.
Yeah, and one thing's for certain: there'll be no Morgan Knowles in ours. That's an absolute given. Yeah. I think it's fair to say. I do not see Mr. Tompkins getting anywhere near it either. No, and Joel's in agreement there. He's shaking his head. You wouldn't have either of them in your team of the season, Joel?
No way. No one in there.
No. We'll have a good chat. We'll have a good chat over who would be team of the season. Probably do that in the playoffs somewhere. Maybe
grand final week we'll do that.
Yeah, after the semis. So once the semis are gone, we'll preview the final. We'll do our dream team. That's a great shout. That's what we'll do. Right then, let's just have a quick. We've got an hour and 50 minutes. What a session this has been. Greg, won't hold you to these. I'll ask you for your predictions over the course of the next couple of days properly. Let's just let's let our minds wander a little bit in terms of what's about to come down the road. So on Friday, there's two games. We'll start with your game against Wakefield. Joe, what's your thoughts? Giants taking on Trinity. Trinity, of course, will play a full team. They'll try and get another win under the belt before the end of the campaign. From your perspective, will you rest players?
I feel like probably rest a little bit.
Yeah.
Theo Fage was rested. There was nothing wrong with him because he passed his head assessment, HIA, but he might end up playing. I think he should play. He should at least get half a game in, get some game time. We've got enough strength, and our youngsters are good enough, I would say, to have a game, and would rest them, because I couldn't believe even yesterday seeing how many first teamers we had sat on the bench, because they sit right by me. It was shocking. I thought, oh man, we need some of them back. So it'd be good to rest some. Josh Jones has come back yesterday, so he'll play again next week. But some of us bigger players, Chris Hill might even get a rest potentially.
It's a difficult one this week, isn't it? With so many.
I think so.
With so many places secured in the top six, it's a difficult one to predict. This is probably the hardest, apart from week 1 and week 2, maybe. This is the hardest week to predict, I think.
Do you think?
Inconsistent.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. So, you look at the table. This is how the table looks. So, Saints top, Wiggins safe. Then, as Joe Wright said, Huddersfield and Catalan. It's the jiggery pokery bit, isn't it? Who are they going to play? They both know now they're playing either Salford or Leeds. And I think Joel's point earlier in the programme tonight is an important one. As that league stands there, Catalan will want to get above Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Because I would not want to be playing Salford in that first playoff game.
No.
Never, not in their form. Never in a million years. So,
yeah.
from both a Huddersfield and a Catalan perspective, Joel, take your view on this. I mean, who's Salford got? My apologies. Oh, they've got us, haven't they? Yeah. So Salford have got us, haven't they? So, from a Huddersfield perspective, if Salford play a full team, I think I can't back Warrington at the minute. I can't. I don't know anybody who could. Leeds are going to beat Cass. Leeds are going to beat Cass.
Is that at Leeds?
I think it is at Leeds. I'd be amazed with Castleford's problems. Yeah, it is at Leeds. With Castleford's problems, I would be amazed if Cass came through that. I'd be amazed. Not, who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Based on what I'll be honest. I don't think Salford will care who they play.
No,
genuinely, I think Salford. If Salford finish sixth, then I just don't think they're going to be bothered whether they play you, whether they play Catalan. I think the only thing is, would they want to go to the south of France to play?
Maybe not.
So let's play games then. If Salford would not want to go to the south of France, they have to play a full side against Warrington and get the job done.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
Because as things currently stand, they don't, and they let Leeds overtake them, and they go to Huddersfield.
But do teams want to?
Do you know what?
Is that the way we go forward, where teams are willing to lose to get an
Yeah. I mean, it was like that stupid. Remember going back a few years where the top club could pick who they would play. Yeah, the team.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Absolutely.
Actually, in fact, let's think about. Do you know what? Here we go. I think Salford may wish to finish sixth and hope that Huddersfield finish third. Would they want to go to the south of France? I don't know if you would, for preparation purposes. So as that looks there now, from a Salford perspective, and actually, I'm looking at this here. There you go. Huddersfield play on Friday, don't they?
Yeah.
Whereas Salford play on Saturday. So if Huddersfield lose, then it's game on. Did I say? No, my apologies. I'm going mad here. My apologies, everybody. Both Huddersfield and Cass play on Friday, so Salford will know where Catalan has finished by the time they kick off.
Yeah, and this is where it's wrong. In the last week of the season, every game should kick off at the same time.
Yeah, like they do in football. Yeah,
like they do in football. Every single game should kick off at the same time, because Salford will know. Salford will name a squad that has their full team squad in, but some reserves.
Yeah.
And they'll know on Friday night whether they can play some of their reserves in that team or not.
Well, Leeds, I think Salford will take your view in a minute here on this, Joe, but I think Salford will pretty much be edging the bets that Leeds are going to beat Castleford. I think they're going to be edging the bets on that. I know they pick kick off at the same time. I think they'll go into that game presuming that Leeds are going to finish on 29 points. So if Huddersfield is still in third come Saturday kickoff, I don't think Salford would lose too much sleep losing that game to Warrington and let Leeds go to Catalan.
I hear what you say, yeah. How I see it, I've had this. How I see it playing out would be, let's assume that on Salford's form they beat Warrington.
Yeah.
So they're set then, aren't they? Pretty much, regardless of what Leeds do. If they win, Salford is set where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was go down. That then don't really make a difference what happens with Leeds or Cass for Salford's side of things.
No.
Salford will want to go to. There's a flip side to what you said, Dave. I agree with you. They don't want to go to Catalan because that's a tough place to go. But the flip side to that is Salford play well, go to Catalan and prove that they can beat Catalan at home. They're then now not just putting the pressure on us, but they're putting the pressure on Saints and Wigan, saying we're here to really, we're going for this. We're not just playing games with anyone. Now, Huddersfield, we need to finish third, right? Because I'm being deadly serious. If there's anybody in that top 6, I don't want to play in that Salford. They've beaten us this year. We've not beaten them, I don't think. Maybe once away, but they've come to us and they've beaten us. I see Leeds beating Cass.
Yeah, but I think it comes back to what Greg's just said, isn't it? The fact that those 2 games are on the Friday, Salford can pretty much decide who they want to play in that first playoff game.
But for us, it's a dream to play Leeds because we feel like, because of what's happened in recent events, we want that almost like revenge, I guess.
I think, thinking about listening to what you're saying, I think Salford might want to go to Catalan because they've got nothing to lose.
True.
Pardon the pun. To go to Catalan. Nobody would expect them to go to Catalan and win. And I think that suits Salford. Salford love it when nobody expects them to win.
They love the underdog, don't they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Salford will be too bothered whether they go to Catalan or not. And I think going to Catalan away suits Salford. I really do.
Mm. Well, I mean, I think, like I say, Salford will decide because by the time they pick off against Warrington, the destiny. I genuinely look, and this is no disrespect to Castleford. I think Castleford have been handed a really bad set of cards for this weekend. I think their injuries are going to just catch up with them. Radford looks completely defeated. I mean, funnier things have happened. The Castleford go and turn Leeds. I just can't see it. I think Leeds will get the job done there. So in effect, Salford can choose. But I'll tell you what. Here's the interesting one. And this might, I don't know if you've seen this, gents. This might have flied a little bit under the radar. I'm really, really disappointed that the Hull derby isn't on. Bragging rights. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bragging rights for the season. That is going to be blood and thunder on Saturday. That is going to be a hell of a game at the MKM.
Yeah, it is.
I think it'll be a big crowd, even though there's other than say there's nothing to play for. City pride is there to play for. I hope it's a bumper crowd, and I think that could be a right old-fashioned arm wrestle. That could be a cracking game.
Be a massive ding dong that.
Not on telly.
You're
Such
right.
a shame.
You're right, mate. But
shame, innit?
But it'd been different. They'd been in 5th and 6th.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, don't get me wrong. It had to be Castleford Rhinos.
The games they've got on are the games that need to be on.
I get that, mate. But if you go back to last weekend, yeah. So last weekend we had a double header on Saturday on Sky.
Yeah.
Right. Why didn't they delay the whole game to a 6 o'clock kickoff, a 5 o'clock kickoff?
Yeah.
Because it is just what it is. It's a bragging rights game, and for the purists of rugby league like ourselves, we'd have tuned in for that because I think that's going to be
watch it all day long.
That'd be a right ding dong. That'd be a cracking way for the season to bow out for them 2 teams. So I'm going to draw you on that one. Who finishes top? Who comes out on top between KR and FC this year?
Hull.
Absolutely, but which one? Which way are you going?
One of the Hull teams, I reckon, is going to finish. I'm going the black, as Sky would call them, the black and whites.
The black and whites, right?
Which defense better?
Okay. Better defense, all FC, better attack.
I'm going the black and whites. You're
going black and whites?
Or as they used to be known, the early birds.
Yeah. Where are you going, Joe?
I think Hull KR's I'd really, would you call it bad luck? I don't know. Yeah. I feel like Hull KR could put a number on FC. Yeah. Just from the fact that FC won the other day, and oh man, KR defensively, I've been better off. Is it going to be a defensive game? Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
You're going KR. All I know is that is going to be a great game at the MKM. One thing's for certain: if anybody's putting a wager on that, I'd expect some sin bins.
Yeah. Why?
I'd definitely do an aggregate one, without doubt. Right, we're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. What I thought, really long one tonight, but we had to do it. It's one of those things. I'm shattered. I'm sure the boys are. But
Yeah.
congratulations. Oh, I didn't change our pictures. My apologies, Greg. But Greg is second. Super League Raw
Thank you.
fans, there you're second. Super League Raw fans, phenomenal weekend for you guys.
Screaming
you
ahead.
amassed 23 points last week over the 2 rounds, which now gives you a 25-point lead over Greg, a 28-point lead over me. With obviously we do predictions right the way through to the grand final. But Greg, games are running out, sir. It looks like we have a bit of a mountain to climb this year. We might just be playing to not be the wooden spoonist, my friend. But
I
done.
was wooden spoon last year. I'm used to it.
It must be my turn this year. But no, well done to the Super League for Royal Fans Forum. Really well. As usual, what we will do is we will put the games on our Facebook page from tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for you to all vote on. Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just the team that you think will win, but the margin in which you believe they will win by, so that I don't have to mire you for that piece of information just to get that information from you. That would be marvellous. Joel, outstanding. Great to have you with us tonight, mate. Thanks very much for coming on. Really appreciate your time. I'm sure we'll have you on again, my friend.
Maybe
Greg,
grand final weekend.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely get you back. We'll definitely get you back. Probably, we'll certainly get you back over the playoffs. I think be rude not to, seeing as though you're in them, without doubt. But ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, enjoy your rugby league. A couple of changes in the top performers of the seasons, 2 rounds back to back. Some Salford Red Devils players have found their way into the top performers of the season.
Can I just say before we go, welcome to all the new members that have joined us over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for getting involved.
And in keeping with your new passion for ladies rugby league, congratulations to the York City Knights.
Yes.
For winning the Women's League Leaders' Shield this week.
That sounds so wrong then, Dave.
Did I? Why?
Your passion.
Your passion for women's rugby league, sir. Anyway, more on that to come, I'm sure. But no, enjoy your rugby league, everybody. These are the top performers of Super League thus far in 2022. We will be back next Tuesday, 8 o'clock for all the coverage of round number 27. Enjoy your rugby league. Get to a game. Adieu to you and you and you, to quote The Sound of Music. All the very best.
Indeed. Auf Wiedersehen.
See you later.